space for the doors. We also had a couple of doors that we repaired with putty. Well, that's not an approved product. So those doors, unfortunately, are need to be replaced. Meeting community and referral source needs. This is very important. We have a good place and people like to use us. We're currently turning referrals away because of staff, which is going to be a theme in my presentation here. Providing services in a fiscally responsible manner is determined by the county. And optimize revenue both within both patient-driven payment model, PDPM, that's the new Medicare program that will start in October, and managed Medicaid, which starts in 2020. A list of our strengths here. We're certainly well known in a long history. Supporting the poor and indigent. We used to be a farm and a cemetery. And I just want to mention here, this won't be for discussion, but I want to make sure the commissioners are aware that there are about 101, at least 101 people buried out in our front yard, if you will. There's interest from the community to designate that in some fashion. This is we've been in touch with. This is primarily through Mary Ann Durain, who used to be our transportation coordinator, and also Tim, our chaplain. There have been a group that have used ground searching radar, I guess it is, to find bodies that were in Tort Church in Mount Holly. They're in contact with them. So we want to find out what process we would follow to something we want to pursue. But that's not for discussion today. We recognize the clinical program, our rehab, and our memory care. We were awarded a state grant last year for training equipment for our dementia product. A lot of community supports. The Friends, who have managed funds and purchase gifts for the facility, the auxiliary. We have many churches that come in, schools. Military is very integral with our organization, and a lot of volunteer agencies. And one option that we're going to look at is we could very well build up our volunteer contingent that would help us in certain aspects of our staff. For HAC training site, we provide them at least one trainer. Melissa Smith's husband, Connor, is a trainer. And we're working on a nurse that both Heather and I worked with in the past to be a trainer for HAC. They last year ran into a crisis with trainers not having enough trainers, and that caused actually a class that was going to be held at Claremont in November to be canceled. So they're in better shape trainer-wise through our help. And then we have, they could potentially hold even larger classes if they would have a, ignore the BU, I'm not sure if that, how that got in. But anyway, we have a possibility of the person that assists in our education department, Robin, serve as sort of a second backup trainer so they can have larger classes. We are developing reimbursement skills to optimize revenue with both PDPM and managed Medicaid. Kairos is going to be reviewing our contracts to make sure that we get the best that we can through those contracts, because they are through providers, so the providers are going to be interested in keeping some of the money for themselves, as opposed to the state just giving us money. We have staff training on proper coding and care management. That's the key to reimbursement, is the proper coding. We use state-of-the-art quality review program. The Abacus program, we believe, helped us, in fact, achieve better results for the service. We certainly have a positive reputation, well known in the community, and experienced leadership and tenure in department directors. Our weaknesses, our primary weakness has and continues to be hands-on staffing. As you can see, our budget, ideal budget, is 3.57. Those are hours per patient day. That's what HPPD stands for. January, we were 3.38. February, we were 3.15. Monday, we were 3.04. Yesterday, we were 2.86. State minimum required is 2.7. This week, and unfortunately ongoing, we're facing staffing issues and we continue to face staff issues. And we're addressing that. I'll talk about that later on in my presentation. As you can see, our average in 2018 was 3.43 hours per patient day. 2017, 3.63. In 2016, we were at 3.19. So I wasn't here, but that must have been a pretty challenging year. And of course, we're increasing the use of agency and overtime, which always has a potential negative effect on quality. We're fortunate to are receiving what we perceive as more resident concerns, family concerns. Agency is, and I heard yesterday, agency people want to work Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. That's not where our need is. And we're running really short on second and third shift, especially second shift. And second shift is where your exposure is. Because if you're coming to visit your mother, you're likely to come in there for work. So you'll be there second shift. And then the other weakness we have is a marked difference between the appearance of tower rooms, which are smaller and more dated, and the C-wing, Heritage Harbor, and transitions, which are lighter, larger, and newer. So we were moving people. We had an admissions meeting this morning. We continue to look at how we can move people around the building to keep our cost most effective. People always want to move to the C-wing. Well, we have 3 times as many beds on the tower as we do in the C-wing, so we're likely always to be there. Opportunities. We have a new therapy program, Encore, starting at the beginning of April. We feel this is a good new start. We sort of got to a place with functional pathways where we were not pleased with the product. They were charging more and not producing what the product we wanted. So we're going to start with them, and they will help. We'll certainly integrate them with our PDPM and managed Medicaid reimbursement optimization. Therapy is no longer going to be the driver of the training. It's more broad, encompassing. It's the nursing care needs for, now this is under PDPM, so that's primarily a transition to people. But we're going to be reimbursed more for a holistic approach to care for the resident, which is going to be, nursing is going to be equally as important. The old days of, okay, let's keep Aunt Fanny here for 30 days, give her ultra high therapy and get paid a lot, that's not going to work, because Medicare is not going to reimburse us for that. So it's very important to focus on a coordinated reimbursement approach. They also have good contacts with home health and LTACs. There's going to be more movement with residents, especially short-term residents. We have further clinical training opportunities on specialty care like LVAD, that's the chest unit you wear to help cardiac situations. TPN, which is feeding through intravenous feeding, and trachs. We do trach care now, but it's sort of focused on one of the specific units. What we have a very strong education program now with the 2 women that we have there. We need to provide training for what our referral sources need, uniformly across the building. We use our public status to research other business lines. When I first came on board and our skilled number was pretty low, I reached out to the prison department, state prison department. There is, in fact, a continuing need, and it's going to be an ongoing need for medical paroles, aging prisoners that are not appropriately treated in a prison. So that is an opportunity. Mental health also. So there's a lot of specialty. Long-term care is going to desire the state and federal governments to have long-term care in institutions decrease. They want to move folks who are appropriate as much as possible out to the home. Now, I'm not going to comment on the feasibility of that. Sometimes it would work, but there's times as well. If you need 24-hour nursing care, you really need to be in a nursing home. But we're going to see more challenges there as to long-term care. But there will be ongoing needs for specialty care. So that's the thing that we need to focus on. We could offer more services to the, and I believe we've done this in the past, to the county, such as flu shots. I believe we're in conversation with the prison about doing TB testing. So since we're a medical facility 24/7, we can offer those services. That's going to depend also on staffing though. I know last year we wanted to offer more out to the county with flu shots, but again, because of staffing, or we were staffing that, we were kind of crunched and not being able to offer as much as we wanted to. certainly our ability to offer training through HAC. HAC very much likes us, so, and it does when people come to our training program. They see and they go up on the floors for their clinicals. That's an important exposure there. We have a mentor program. We want to expand that, enhance that, because that's a good opportunity for seasoned and well-experienced employees to help guide the newer employees. And that's important, because the first 90 days is the most important part of whether or not you're going to decide to stay. It's how they treat you. And we're looking at improving our lobby area. It really is kind of dark, and so we want to look at making that's our front door. We want to be able to make that more attractive. So we're coming up with plans for that. Our threats, again, speaking to the staffing, that we're turning away skilled folks, and we don't want to continue to do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be moving this, aren't I? Okay, sorry guys. There we go. Sorry, I completely forgot. Yeah, we don't want to be continuing to turn away referrals. We have to bolster our staffing so that we can. And the reason that it's hurting us down in transitions where we receive us skilled referrals. The only way we lose a long-term bed is if someone dies or goes home, and that's not typical typically. So the turnover on long-term units is much less. So the turnover on our skilled units where we can, if we need to lower or not take as many people in to account so that the poor staffing we have can take care of everybody, that area gets hit. Well, that's where we make the money. And that's where we have most of the business. So we don't want to we really need to address our staffing situation. The tower building potential for non-conformance. We have a couple of issues going on there. That it was not a conforming building. It was not properly grandfathered. So Brad is working with the engineers and with the state to address that. One important situation that we took care of is we checked the fireproofing on the steel beams. There is no asbestos. That was the concern. That was the corrective measures that was complicated was great. That's not an issue. So that's important.
How many beds are in the tower building?
There's only, but it's like 49, 48 for each. So it's about 150. 145, 150. And then again, I spoke again about the threats. They're using agency and overtime. Overtime, we're burning people out. So that's another good thing either. And you can see our agency use is pretty significant. Okay, so for us to get to where we want to get to, which is continuing our high quality with adequate staffing. Again, we need to maintain the staffing because our profit, so to speak, is from our skill. We make about $150 a day. We lose money on long-term care residents. So we need to focus on adequate staffing so we're not turning referrals away. And my goal for there would be to have staffing so that we can consider, we budgeted 20 skilled for the year. We were below that in January and February. So my goal is to get our staffing fixed so that we can consistently get our backup budget for skilled by June. Unfortunately, that's going to involve spending over budget for agency and bonuses to maintain as best as we can closer to the budget of TBD. You can see the year-to-date February, we've already spent $210,000 in agency, which is crazy. We budgeted $50,000 in 2018. We spent $250,000. So I would continue. Unfortunately, I would anticipate continuing that spend rate probably through June. There's not the bodies out there. We're getting some in, but I expect this is going to continue. My goal would be to cut that $100,000 a month agency figure in half by July. I'm optimistic we can do that, I hope, but that's a significant target, and then the $25,000 by October. I spoke about stabilizing staffing through census reduction. Melissa did a calculation for me that if we would close half a unit to help us with staffing, we'd have to run 50 skilled to hit budget. So this is probably the best way to say it. We're not going to hit our budget this year. We're just not, unless there's a plethora of CNAs that come in. We're unfortunately not going to hit what we planned. Again, keep staffing to death, but it's our main issue. For recruitment and retention, we did an employee survey. It's important we see the results of that so that we can respond to what our employees are telling us. We continue to grow our own program. We do have 4 people from housekeeping and dietary that will go through that. I'm understanding from Judy that's going very well. They're enjoying that. They're also giving us a few hours. And my goal would be to have 8 additional CNAs from that in-house by year-end. Certainly continuing job fairs, visiting schools, improving the application process. And I've talked about this with HR before. Our application process currently is when we had a job fair in our multi-purpose room, people would come down and start filling out an application. The department head, like Trish from the kitchen, would come and get them. You can't like stop in the middle of the application. You either have to finish the whole thing or it goes away. So that it's just sort of little things like that, that because we don't do paper applications anymore, the higher level application process is kind of bulky, if you will. Continue to promote our true pay, including our benefits, because our average rate, I saw something from Melissa the other day, like for a CNA is about $24 an hour. So if I'm looking at Church of God, it's $14 or $15 an hour, and looking at the county, well, yeah, we start you at $14.30, but if you take advantage of the benefits of the organization, you're actually paying them $24, $25 an hour. Now, we've also had the conversation that I'm 22 years old, and $5 an hour of that is my pension. They're not going to care about that. And I'm not sure what or if we can ever do anything about that. But it's just something to keep, because most of the people coming in to CNAs are young. And I talked about the mentoring program. We have a nursing mentoring program that we want to tweak and improve. We do not have a mentoring program for the other departments, so we want to roll that out too. In the latest contract that we signed, there is mentoring pay opportunity for all departments, and that will be improved. Optimizing our reimbursement through effective contract review, that's Kairos that I spoke about before, and focus on referral costs. Nancy, our nurse liaison, she's just amazing. And it's like she's a thoroughbred horse that we've got to keep on holding back because the staffing issue is not allowing her. She could be bringing 4 or 5 referrals a day. That's what's so disappointing to me is, but we have to have a staff. But she's working with Dawn, our reimbursement specialist. So when we see referrals, we know what the true cost is. We're actually starting to do costing based on the new payment model, the new PDPM. So we know somebody with a very high therapy need might be good for us today, but starting in October, it will be different. And we're looking at that. So it's an intelligent approach to the way our business is. Again, optimize our reimbursement from both managed Medicaid. It starts in 2020 PDPM, which starts in October. Through effective electronic health record, the consultant we brought in last week helped us very much with the main part of the health record, the part where we keep track of activities of daily living. This part of the CNAs, their Quinn Care product is probably not going to be using it. The Care Tracker product that we have been using and is very effective for us, we will continue with that. So we're not going to necessarily have to, because I've spoken before about, we're not sure whether the Cantata product is going to work. We think it probably will, but their point of care product, which is where the agent recorded, that's probably not going to work. But we have something that exists and we use. Again, educating staff and documentation, and the goal will be educating folks on the new therapy program by the end of April. One of the challenges of having the therapy program is there was a perception that the therapist was troll for business. And this was a feeling shared not only by the unit managers, but also by our medical staff. We have to have a fresh start with this and help everybody understand the therapy is delivered appropriately. It's not just they're not just looking for business. And that's important because therapy is a part of what people need. Staff education on proper coding, I spoke about that. Yeah, this is the new therapy company coming in and educating the staff about the appropriate use of therapy. And partnering with bundled payment programs. OIP is a orthopedic group in the Harrisburg area that also has offices in Carlisle. We have partnered with them on specific diagnoses like shoulder replacement and repair. If somebody comes in, this Fusion 5 is the organization that is helping them with a bundled payment coming from the first time you visit the doctor for your frozen shoulder, through the surgery you have at Carlisle Hospital, through the rehabilitation at Claremont, through your home health. The whole thing is a bundle. And the more effective you are, you get a fixed amount for Medicare. So you have to manage that, if you will. That's sort of the future of where healthcare is going. So we are, in fact, in that coordination with OIP, and that we've not had any residents yet. But there's going to be more opportunities there to participate in the bundle program with providers. Dedicated support, or more integration with our fellow county departments. HR, we would benefit from the results from the employee exits that are done and the survey results. We certainly look forward to those and seeing what we need to do, how we need to respond to our employees. Not every person that's leaving does an exit interview, but I know that Derek reaches out to them. And so having access to that information on a prompt basis is important. More integration with IMTO. We've got a couple of examples of we're just going to continue to be more electronic with our systems. And we need better coordination with IMTO. We don't know all the technical side of stuff. We just need to get Mark involved earlier and work through some of these things. We had an excellent example of Friends purchased a brain stimulation program, which is absolutely excellent. Unfortunately, there were other things that had to be reviewed before we can accept that and know that it can be used. So it's better coordination there. Refine the contract process. We have a lot of routine contracts. Hospice is probably the best example. We probably have 4 or 5 hospices with which we deal with on a regular basis. Melissa's request is that if we could look at maybe streamlining that. It's not a big thing, but because of the routine contracts that we constantly renew.
The trend is it's actually been the other way on that because it's a personal choice.
Yes, it is.
We'd be going counter to that.
No, we have, the way it works, we have 5 typical ones. Yeah. And they're the group that most people know. Every now and then somebody will come in and says, well, I want ABC Hospice. Right. We'll do a one-time contract on that.
So there's a one-time?
Well, yeah, so it's both a combination of reviewing, getting maybe a more streamlined way of reviewing the 5 that we typically deal with and renew every year. But also, because if you come in and you want hospice for your great aunt, this is a fairly quick process. They want to know from us, can we accept ABC? And it's worked reasonably well, but again, it's streamlined. And it's unfortunately like the staffing and bonus thing. It's like things happen to us very quickly, and we need to react because it's people's needs. Optum is a managed Medicare product that we have about 41 participants in right now. They would like to beef up that membership. My understanding is that they came in about 3 years ago. The rollout did not go well. I wasn't here, but it didn't really go out well. So we want to improve that membership. And it ends up, we get paid for hospice, or I mean for Optum people with which we participate. Because their goal is to minimize expense. So the example is we can better treat you in your bed on 3rd floor rather than sending you to the hospital. Obviously, the expense of that would be less. So if we would add another 41 people, if we would go up to 70 members, we would receive about another $50,000 in membership revenue. Plus, we get expense avoidance, if you will. They pay for things like eye care and supplies. So that's an opportunity for revenue for us. And then one of the other things we could look at is, again, to bolster the CNA training, the CNA recruitment, maybe paying for public members coming in. Right now, we're only covering the cost of the course expense and lost pay, if you will, for existing employees. We might look at for paying at least for the course expense for members of the public. Other places are doing this.
Question, have any questions?
Let me just, first of all, what is Optum again?
It's a managed Medicaid, it's a United Healthcare product. It's a managed Medicare. Medicare choice?
Yes. Okay.
It's a Medicare choice.
Okay. So in other words, people are covered through that and they can be treated in a hospital or?
They can be treated, their focus is, they have a part-time nurse practitioner in the facility. If we get up to 70, it would be a full-time nurse practitioner. So that person will keep closer tabs with you, on you. You still have your physician. They still have a designated physician, but the nurse practitioner sort of oversees, and his or her desire is to keep you in the facility rather than sending you to the hospital.
Well, you emphasized several times in here about the fact that we have this, CNA shortage,
Yes.
and some of the efforts that we're trying to do to address that. I guess one of the questions I have is with respect to Nancy's efforts to essentially promote folks to come to the
Yes.
transitions.
Yes.
And we've had a number of instances where we can't accept, not because we don't have beds in transitions, but
That's
because
correct.
we don't have staff.
That's correct.
Have you looked at realigning the staff so that we don't have that problem? Because it seems to be, kind of like we're working against ourselves here. If we don't have, if she's out there trying to promote
Yes.
transitions, it doesn't seem that we're helping ourselves if somebody is ready and able, one of the hospitals, and the patient's been convinced to come to Claremont, then we don't have any rooms. Because of
correct.
staff, it seems to me we would, have to figure out a way to address that. So what is the
Correct.
answer to that? Is there a way to realign that?
It's not that we're short-staffed on transitions and we're okay everyplace else. We're short everywhere. So, and times because the staffing on transitions is in fact a little better because there are more acute problems going on there. So unfortunately, sometimes if we don't have an admission today, we might pull somebody from transitions to work on 3rd floor because we're running short across the whole house. That's the challenge. And again, as I emphasize, that's unfortunate. The best way to do this would be to, and we're not taking long-term referrals. We're moving people up into those from, so we have space and able to take people in transitions. But the best thing to do would be to shut down the floor. I don't mean to say that, it doesn't sound right, but I mean, again, you close 50 bed.
Yeah,
The example I gave you
you're like
before.
at the towers, what you're saying.
Yeah. And I picked the tower, just, it could be any unit, but my experience, I was at Cross Keys. Cross Keys has an effective census of a capacity census of 270. They're running at 190 budget this year. And their census, I heard from somebody from the other day, is 175. So they're 100 beds under. And they did that specifically because they call it staffing for quality. The difference there is they're CCRC. So they have personal care and independent
So if I
living.
understand what you're saying, is the more acute need then is, not necessarily in rehab, is that what you're saying?
The need for staffing is all over.
Okay. I understand that. So what I'm saying is there's no way to readjust the staff.
Not really. Not really. You can't shortchange. In other words, you can't shortchange.
No, I understand.
Yeah,
But
that's-
but in terms of our trying to fill slots, shouldn't the focus be on, where we're essentially we get the, that the whole idea about, the transitions was to try to have short-term rehab, and that was, supposedly going to generate additional revenues.
Yes.
So, in terms of, are we meeting, we're not meeting the state's requirement with respect to the level of nursing right now?
We are by the skin of our teeth. Because that's a deficiency. It's not a federal tag, but it's a state tag.
Okay.
You just don't, and at the end of the day, we're about quality. That's what's so heartbreaking about this is that, you don't have enough people. It makes it difficult to have that quality.
Are we, if we're hosting the hack classes at Claremont,
We are.
are we getting any benefit out of that?
Yes, it's exposure to. Now, I gotta tell you, most of the people that go through there are sponsored by somebody. One of the other nursing homes in the area. So we don't get them right away. However, they see us and they see what we have. And the fluidity of CNAs, and what really everybody else, nurses as well, is amazing. I mean, I'll work someplace for 6 months and, somebody else will offer me 50 cents more, I'll jump there. I mean, I don't want to be crass, but nursing home business is nursing home business. Now, the quality and why you want to stay, we have more of that than a golden living does, on mine. But when it comes down to money, people sometimes jump for money. So, to answer your question, at least Susie's been exposed to Claremont, she knows what it is. So even though she goes to Church of God or Manor Care, works for 6 months and gets beaten because everybody's doing the same thing, everybody's working, everybody's too hard. She says, the heck with this, then she'll go and see us, especially if we say, you're effective, the wage is $25 an hour. You pay $14.30, but you take advantage for benefits.
Okay, just one or two more questions.
Oh, sure, please.
You're saying here that essentially we're blowing the budget with respect to how much we spend on
Yes.
agency.
Yes, we are.
All right. And then you also say the goal is to cut the current agency spend down to $25,000 by October. So how do you plan to do that?
Through the recruitment and retention, hiring our own, more hack classes, having people having exposure to Claremont. HR is reaching out to everybody and anybody. They're going to classes, they're going to high schools, we had Carlisle High School kids that were there. Actually, at the job fair, two kids came from Perry County, I believe, and wanted to work in the kitchen. Well, they did a wonderful job. They said, you can start in the kitchen. But, we have this grow our own program where if you're successful with us for a few months, Judy and I talked about, we want you to work for us for 6 months because we want to make sure you're okay. We can tell how you're going to be. Give you the opportunity, then we'll train you to become a CNA. So the wage difference right there, but also the career path is there. The ideal is to get a CNA who becomes an LPN, becomes an RN, just keeps on doing that.
Well, and I appreciate the fact, I like the idea of, essentially educating all of our employees as to the total compensation they're receiving, including the benefits.
Yeah.
And I think you touched on it, but I do think, at the end of the day, I think because we are a county-operated, publicly owned facility, we don't have to worry about generating profits for an investor. Okay, we ought to do what we can to beat whatever competition is out there with respect to what we pay our CNAs. and I've said it before, you know, CNAs or nursing staff in general, I mean, these are the people that do the work. So we need to come up with a, you know, I think a way for us to shine in terms of attracting, you know, new employees to come work in Claremont. And then relative to the new therapy company that's coming
Yes.
on board, are we going to have like an orientation with the staff out there
Yes.
with the new therapy company?
Yeah, that's what I spoke about it here.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be very important because, you know, I mean, I know a lot of our
Absolutely.
staff have become comfortable with
Yes,
the previous therapy provider.
yes.
And, you know, as you mentioned, there were some, you know, potential shortcomings there, so, that, you know, but, you know, I think it's important for this new company to be given a chance and to essentially,
Yes.
hopefully the employees can, you know, work with this new company and make that a success, so.
It's a new start, and it's also a new payment system. Now, again, it just applies to skill, the people in data transitions. But still, it's a more holistic way. It's not just therapy driven. And I think that's where the figure came from. I mean, if I'm a therapy department and I'm getting paid, I'm the primary payer source, I'll produce as much therapy as possible. Well, Medicare caught up with that. So this new patient-driven payment model is very much more holistic. So there's an opportunity for education there. We're bringing the guy we're hiring, actually he's from Boiling Springs. I should have written it down his name. He's coming in tonight with the regional director. We're going to meet with my reimbursement team, my nursing team, and social workers to just get to know them. But we'll do general education, so this, yeah, that's very important.
That's all I have for now.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, once I read through this more, I may give you some questions too.
Absolutely.
Bob,
Yes.
question for you, possibly for Holly.
Mhm.
The collective bargaining agreement sets the salary rates for all the employees, or most of them,
Most.
including the CNAs.
Yeah.
For their pay scale to change, obviously, that agreement would have to be open and renegotiated. What about, I know we had talked, and maybe we're doing it, just brain dead or something, are we offering sign-on bonuses or say, anybody type, and if so, would that cause an issue with the CPA? That would too.
Any type of compensation, we would have to enter into an agreement with them.
Does that apply, would that apply to referral bonus as well?
The one we just got approved?
No, referral bonus. Where we-
Yes, yes.
From.
Any compensation, so it's not to say they would be favorable to it.
Yeah.
That's correct.
All right,
That's
But it
correct.
would, I think I hear what Vince is saying, what you do would be, rather than tinkering with those base salary rates that are established in the contract, if there's some add-ons or workarounds or bonuses, would be something to discuss with them on a perhaps less contentious basis.
It would just be a discussion on budgetary,
Yeah.
and outlining the parameters of that, so.
I'm sure you're in contact regularly with the Labor Council regarding.
It's a shame this wasn't discussed as part of the negotiations. I would like at some point an opportunity to meet with our labor council, you know, discuss issues relative to the contract. This issue of trying to attract, you know, employees, you know, to our nursing home should have been part of the contract negotiations. Maybe it was, but these issues relative to sign-on bonus, maybe providing additional compensation for our CNAs to start. Those are things that I think we should have discussed in the most recently concluded bargaining agreement, which the commissioners didn't have any direct input into. So I'd like to meet with our labor council and have this discussion.
Well, the labor issue is a big moving target. And it will continue to be a moving target too. So I'm sure that they felt that we're going to the hole here. So that their emphasis has been to lower the overall labor cost, which is not unreasonable expectations.
Bob, I have a question. When you
Yes.
did your SWOT analysis, and you were identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, did you involve doctors, nurses, staff, and patients in gathering all that information?
I use that for instance, when I go out and talk with patients, how I go out and visit new and existing people who are ready to be discharged. The uniform expression is this is a really great place. So, in that sense, and talking with people every day. So, I certainly didn't send out a survey, but I use what I gain every day talking with people. And I said this was circulated to my management team. So, all my directors and nursing leadership, not to see.
And so I'm used to seeing
Yeah,
a
go
SWOT
ahead.
analysis of 4 columns, you know,
Mhm.
your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities,
Yeah.
and threats. And I think based on that, that could become part of your marketing plan so that everybody has access to it.
Mhm.
So I think this is a little hard, the way this is to follow.
Okay.
I don't know, would you agree?
Yeah, I actually started out doing, this is briefer, and I added, contact to benefit for you guys. But yeah, I can certainly,
Yeah.
or, take it down, not as much detail, and use bullet points for all the points. This is, this is heartbreaking because you guys got a really good place out there. I've been in a ton of places, and it's a really good place. But and I've been doing this long enough to know that you're not the only ones facing this labor shortage. It grinds down the people delivering the care, and it can affect quality, and that's what's so disturbing about it.
Well, and, I think Vince, Gary, and I, demonstrated that, essentially we value our employees, all of our employees out there. And it's not an easy job that they have.
Right.
And again, my position on it is that they need to be compensated properly. And I know we have a labor agreement and we have to deal with the union, okay? And they're trying to be, it's across the board with the union. They've got, everybody who's covered, right? But I do think that, if Claremont's going to survive, and I certainly hope that it does, that we need to address this employee issue. And one of the ways is through compensation, especially for those who are, the CNAs who, again, I don't want to take one group and pit them against another, but we found out since the contract's been negotiated, we already know that there's at least one facility and maybe others that are paying more than we are, in terms of the hourly wage. Now I know that we have a lot of benefits in addition to the wage, but I think we need to put our money where our mouth is, if you can go down the street and make as much money or almost as much money working at McDonald's instead of being a certified nurse assistant at a county operated nursing home, then you're probably going to go to McDonald's.
In all fairness, and I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, but one of the things we have heard repeatedly is that the employees are saying it's not just about the money. We do hear a recurring theme that the climate there is problematic, that there's there are tensions and such. I agree. We've tried our best to communicate to our employees we value them. The question I have is, do they value each other? And that's a harsh thing to say, but we've heard anecdotally that there's sniping internally, and that's a cultural issue. That can't be addressed with money. That has to be addressed in another manner. And if we have agency people coming in and they're frankly mistreated by staff, then staff is cutting off their own nose to spite their face because there's somebody magnifying the problem. if we have older folks, or should I say, not older, but should I say more experienced folks who've been long-term employees who are sniping against the younger people because their work ethic is different, which is a reflection of society in general. Again, it's self-sabotaging. So I think we've got issues far beyond just the realm of who's paying 20 cents more that are going to have to be dealt with, or we're never going to get control of that situation. So this is multifaceted. So I think if we hang all of our attention on one issue, we're missing the bigger picture and potentially just making things worse. So the issues with the employees are going to have to be dealt with. So maybe we need, I know we're doing exit interviews. I still don't feel like we know enough about what's going on down there among that workforce. And Holly, I guess we should maybe have a conversation with you at some point to see if we're doing everything we feel we can do.
We did just wrap up an employee engagement survey. It closed on March 1st. We're still working, compiling the results. We plan to have them by the end of this week to be discussed and presented at the next nursing home board meeting on Tuesday the 26th.
I would still advocate that we consider some type of ongoing like employee council that meets on a regular basis.
We have monthly recruitment and retention meetings that are open up to all of the employees of Claremont to come and attend. Also, the HR office is staffed with 2 people every day to hear employees' concerns. But certainly,
I think there's some better tools available to us. And the council provides some advantages that those forums would not. And not that it's the end all and be all, but I think we need to have a discussion whether we're engaging employees as fully as we could. Because we need that information to make decisions. It's not just a matter of making them happy, it's understanding who's unhappy and why they're unhappy, and whether or not we can do something about that or not, and whether there's opportunities to use the resources we have better, i.e. the mentoring, and are our senior people, our long-term people embracing the folks that are coming in. We're going to be seeing turnover there. Are we addressing that proactively, or are we just kind of letting just flying by the seat of our pants? So there's a number of problems I think at work here. So.
I would agree that the compensation is not everything. What we heard is there's been a decline in morale. At the nursing home. One of the things that we've heard, though, also is the fact that when we hire, the agency more and more, okay, and nothing against those employees, but they come in and they have no real connection to the residents of the nursing home. There's that person, that personal relationship is not there. Now I agree that, all of our employees, we're all in this together, we all got to work together and make the best of it. But, my understanding of us when we hire the agency, those employees may not even be getting, essentially the largest share of the dollar that we spend on that.
They probably make a little bit more than what we would.
But a lot of that has gone to some company out there that, is making a profit.
Yeah.
So, it seems to me that, we would be much better off if we were able to, essentially compensate our county employees better than having to go outside and hire people who, and again, nothing against those employees. They're in demand throughout the industry, right? They're in demand throughout the county. But it's always been the reason why Claremont, as I understand it, or I believe, is the jewel that it is because it's been, the people are treated like family. And everybody's there to help one another as far as employees go, and that, our seniors are the primary focus of where the attention is. So we want to get back to that place if we stray from it. And all I'm trying to do is suggest that this issue, we can, if we need to have a, you know, a discussion with the union, I'll be first in line to have a talk with them, okay? Because this is in everybody's interest to try to figure out, you know, what we need to do to retain and attract employees.
Holly, what was the main objective for this survey that in March 1?
So we are doing exit surveys with those that leave, and we thought they're kind of too far gone at this point. So we did the employee engagement survey to figure out and listen to the individuals that are still here. What do you like? What do you don't like? Asking targeted questions about, you know, administration, nursing administration, HR. Is your pay comparable? Wages, your benefit comparable? So the goal was just get feedback all over the board, good, bad, and ugly. So that did close, and so we're going to present it, the findings to you at the March 26th in a manner that here's the feedback we received, here's what we have plans for that we can implement now, and here's a category of things that will take some work and some negotiating possibly to implement later, and here are the things that we just can't do or are one-offs or whatever it may be. So we will plan to present that in that manner.
So that should provide us with some pretty interesting information.
I believe so.
Who designed the instrument?
I'm sorry.
Who designed the instrument, the survey notes? Were they given a written piece of paper to fill out?
They were Derek Lippert.
Okay.
It's challenging to do electronic out there, so that's why it's taking me a little bit longer, because you are taking actual paper surveys and putting it together.
And you'll share that information with us at what point?
At the March 26th nursing home board meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Anything else? Any other comments?
The only thing I would think is that possibly staff isn't sure of their patient-role relationship out there. I mean, as far as new people coming on, maybe they're not completely clear. I don't know, Bob, your thoughts? They're not clear in their role regarding patient relationship, you know, what they need to do, you know, with the interaction that Jim was talking about. When they come on board,
Yeah,
how are they onboarded?
Well, basis of caregiving is based on your training, so as an aide, you're trained, as a nurse, you're trained. Then we put them through an orientation program that not only has the mandatory infection control, but also what's your role as a CNA, what's your role as a dietary employee. So, and the department directors would be responsible, the unit managers would be responsible. I would be distressed if that would be a response, because I would not anticipate that, given, again, to talk about the strength of the departments, of the management level. So, and there could be some people out there that don't know. We have that issue, the potential issue for agency people. You know, you have to give agency people a abbreviated orientation. But again, the agency person's a CNA, and that's what I've learned as through my training. So, are there people out there that sort of don't have as much of a clue as they should? Yes, but and when we have concerns about agency people, if we get a concern, we investigate it. Because I'll give you a very quick example. Culturally, or in central Pennsylvania, agency people can probably more frequently be of another race. Now, that has two effects. Number one, if I'm a resident and I've lived in Shippensburg all my life, never saw a black person, okay, then I might have a negative response to that. But I have to encourage my staff also to don't let, if Uncle Fred starts going off because a black person, just sort of try to follow the situation. I worked in Baltimore for 11 years. I mean, this is nothing for me. I realize this is not the same here. But again, to your point about, how we have to have employees that sort of get it. So that may be part of it. But again, I would be distressed if we have people working for us that don't get that it's about taking care of people. Because we do a good job of that. But there could be. I hope not.
Well, somebody's race should not be a factor, Paul.
It should not, especially in
and
areas.
I'll tell you what, if the residents have a problem, that's their problem, and there needs to be a conversation on that. I mean, you know.
It is,
I graduated from high school 50 years ago this year. Okay? I cannot believe we're still having this same conversation.
I was involved where it wasn't
In
even a conversation.
2008, in 2018.
But it's just, especially on our, it has been an issue on our commission. And that's where we have to help the staff, help the residents, because they're, I mean, they're not, you know, things aren't connected in their head anymore, but they just react to this. We have to manage through that.
Anything else? Any other business we need to discuss? Is there a motion to adjourn? Adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.